Is it recording? I think so.
Is the light bleeping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got it focused. All right.
I don't know where to begin. I don't know how to start.
Okay. You know what? Just start. Okay.
All right.
Action!
Welcome, everybody. And today we're going to be talking about the top 10 things. See, there's many more. There's so many more. But, like, the top 10 things on Wattpad that I just cannot stand. So, for number one.
Yeah, don't ever do these, okay?
Don't. Promise me. Number one is actually going to be the bad boy, billionaire, like the alpha, any of those kinds of stories. I never click on those because, like, let me tell you, they're always the same. It's always the bad boy. He's like the leader, the whatever. He's the cool, like, angsty guy. But then he's got a soft side, you know, like he's the one, he's gonna make the girl fall in love with him. And then, of course, we'll get more into this later, but, like, he has to be, like,
Really possessive
and, like,
dominant.
like, the female has to be the subordinate. And come on, it is 2019. We don't live for that, alright? Right, Kathleen?
Heck yeah.
Number two, this is gonna be something, like, if you've read teen fiction novels on Wattpad, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's those quirky phrases where it's just like, they see the boy's eyes, and instead of saying eyes, they'll say orbs. I don't know why, but they do. They think it sounds good. It's like his dreamy blue orbs stared right into her soul. Don't do that. No. That sounds weird, right? What are other ones? Oh yeah. Popping the pea. If you know it, you know it. It's where they're like, yep. Don't. For the third one, I gotta get my phone ready to go. No originality. You know, see, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's certain genres on Wattpad that just have the same, like, cookie cutter plot line for every single book. This is a generalization. There are some really good ones that I've read. So, but, like, generally, there are books in, like, teen fiction, romance, stuff like that. They all have the same plot line. So it's like, you click on it and you're like,
Wow, I feel like I've already read this.
because you have. It literally was in another book. It's like, girl meets guy. Guy is, man, like, he's angsty, bad boy, right? And then she's like, well, maybe he has a soft side. And then, of course, he does something bad that makes her go like, no, I can't be with him. And then they end up together at the end anyway. So it's like, do something new, please. Alright, the number 4, or is this 5? I can't count. Alright, number 4 is there's no slow burn romance. You click on a Wattpad book and it's chapter 2 and they're already going. No. We don't even root for the relationship then. It's just, boom. You don't see a guy and immediately think,
Wow, like, let's go.
and it's usually the guy doesn't see the person and go like,
Here we go.
unless you're wanting to hook up. But that's not the romantic story you want, right? Usually if a person genuinely likes another person and another person genuinely likes another person, they always are, like, really secretive about it, don't want to tell. They're like, oh, I'm so afraid she'll, like, reject me or something. That's usually how it goes, and it's even more funny. Bonus points if you do this. It's like those, like, quirky little funny things where, like, they almost tell one another, but then something gets in the way. I don't know why, I just appreciate those. Sometimes it's a little cliche, but if you do it right, it can be really good. Another thing I generally see, and it's usually in teen fiction novels, is there's that one really annoying best friend. Like, the main character and her best friend are in the hallway, and then her best friend's like,
Oh my god, look at there's that boy over there.
does your best friend act like that? I hate that. I hate it when they make the best friend so annoying. The reader wants to like characters, and usually if it's a protagonist, we will end up liking the character.
But not if they're super annoying.
It's like always in teen fiction books on Wattpad, they always do that. But don't do that. Stop! The number 6 one, this one gets on my nerves. It's the main character is super
Ugly.
like, I mean,
Look at her.
she's got,
The perfect hair, perfect nails, perfect makeup.
but oh my god, she's so ugly.
Now that's a lot of damage!
No, she's not. Shut up. Like, you can write your character like that, but, and I know, like, you're like, oh, well, everybody has self-esteem issues. Well, if you're gonna make them have self-esteem issues, don't make your character flawless. Like, it's just not good. The readers are gonna read it and be like, wow, like, they're a complainer. Like, okay, they're really hot. Like, that's literally what you're writing. Your character's hot. I hate that. Alright. Are we on 7 now? I can't count. Possessive Men. I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but we're going into it again. When the guy's like,
oh, you're my possession.
that is like the biggest turnoff for me in the world. Like, I hate that. Again, it's 2019. We're better than that. Because I see those book titles on Wattpad all the time. I'm the alpha's
Possession.
I'm the billionaire's
Possession.
I don't know, it just makes me feel gross and sick. It's like not very nice portrayal of women. There's a lot of young readers on Wattpad, and it's kind of, this actually does piss me off. It's like they are reading these stories and thinking it's okay, and it's not. Like, I could get into a whole another video. Leave it down in the comments if you want me to go on a whole another video about like stories like that, but seriously, don't do that. Number 8, the in which stories. Like, let's see, you see a beautiful cover, an interesting title, but you go in the description because you're like,
You know what, let's like figure out what this story's about.
and it just says something like one lines in which the boy falls in love with the girl. What's your story about? Like, I want to know. It's like, I get some people are like,
Oh, because it's aesthetic.
right? Or
It draws people into.
you're gonna lose readers if you do that. Because whenever I see that, I'm like,
Okay, bye.
your description is what sells your book, and if your description is really lackluster, nobody's gonna read it. That's your chance to show off your skills. Show it off. Don't leave it with just one sentence. It's not good. Alright, number 9. We're getting there. There's the annoying author's notes at the end of chapters. See, here's the thing. Like, when I read a chapter, I'm okay when I get to the end of the author's, like the end of the chapter, right? And there's just like a little blurb where they're like, oh, I'm so glad you read my book. Please leave like a vote or a comment. Just let me know how I did. Thank you so much. I'm okay with that. What I don't like is when it's like a full-on book at the end of their chapter. It's like where they're like, oh my gosh, this week has been crazy. I had exams and then like the writing wasn't going good for me, and oh my god, like please give me 300 votes and then I'll update the next chapter. I don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. I understand if you're like, I'm sorry, I didn't update this week because blah blah blah. Your author's notes should be short and sweet. I shouldn't have to scroll and scroll to get past your author's notes, because it's like, people are there for your story. They're not there for your complaint. Like, I mean, unless it's a complaining book. You know, if you're complaining book. Probably should cut that out.
Yeah.
Finally, number 10, and this is the biggest pet peeve of mine and the biggest thing that I hate. Number 10 is when the author doesn't edit their own book. Like, you go in there and there's spelling errors, there's grammar errors, and then they don't like indent paragraphs. Like, you see it just like this wall of text and there's dialogue right in the center, and I've seen that. I've literally seen that. Read over your own chapters. Don't just type it up and post it. The way you're gonna get reads and the way you're gonna get fans and people who enjoy your writing is if you actually show you care. It just shows you don't care about your writing and that you're just throwing it out there. So please, for the sake of everybody, edit your own chapters. Alright, that's the end. Those are my top 10 biggest things that I hate on Wattpad. And, you know, if you notice that your own writing kind of reflects that, I would say just like read over your own book. Just make sure your writing's original. Make sure your writing has good grammar, has good spelling. This is your story, and if you really love writing, just like make it something unique, make it something cool, because if people have seen it before,
They don't want to see it again.
so just like avoid these things. Again, this is just my personal opinion, but just avoid those top 10 things and you're gonna do great. Bye!